Let's go to the World Indoor Silver Tour today, I guess, in Sweden, in Stockholm. Incidentally, the same guys who run the Diamond League in Stockholm, and start with some big Jamaicans hanging out there. And start with the men's 60 meters. Kishane Thompson was there. Didn't quite perform the way I thought he would. I mean, we saw him last week was it last week in Jamaica, where he
Yeah.
had an early 60, got kind of run down by, you know, Lee,
Grand
was
level
it
and not the
Yeah,
McPherson. Yeah.
McPherson, right? And today looked like he was in a comfortable position. In fact, I have a still of him leading the guys, and then Azu and also Glaive there from Great Britain in a PB 651 taking him down. Any thoughts on that? Are we reading into this too much already?
There are some reports coming out that, first of all, there was a report that they had withdrawn from the meet.
Mm,
Um, my information, which I have not verified yet, this is what I'm hearing, is that they arrived late.
mm,
So I think that might have something to do with it. I watched the race about 15 times already. What it looks like is like he got run down early, which is unusual because at 60s when he's building towards his top speed. That Azu and Glaive ran him down. Um, Maybe they're working on a new race pattern. I don't know what it is, but we saw similar something last week. I mean, last weekend when Brian Level, who admittedly did not get a good start, ran him down as well at 60 at GC Foster. So I don't know if they're working on a new race plan and that's part of it. It doesn't make sense
mm.
to me right now because Kishane, like most MVP sprinters, is a front loading sprinter. They get out, you have to catch them. I don't know why. The only reason I could see them changing that race model is that they've looked at the last two major championships and look at him getting caught late in races and are probably trying to have him build towards a momentum later in a race so he can hold on a little bit longer. But that for me would mean running more 200s and 150s as opposed to 60s. I don't know. Maybe maybe it's just a phase where he's at in his training, where he's not at his sharpest yet. Maybe he's a little tired because, as I was told, I arrived late, so maybe a little bit of jet lag is involved as well. But having said that, that doesn't explain Daniel Smith, who
Right.
is in the gram today and ran a PB in the first round, which was a stadium record, and then lowered it in the final, running down both Clayton sisters. So the only way I can argue it is maybe this is a part of the program where they're not at their sharpest yet. But Janila does look good. I mean, when you look at the fact that she ran 717 in the preliminary round, the Clayton sisters came in for the final, which probably again could explain their issue in the final because at least Janila got to maybe shake off some rust in the preliminary round.
And
And then
same for
came back.
Glaive too. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm,
yeah.
mm.
And ran them down. The thing about it is that you hardly ever see anybody run down the Clayton sisters. They
Right.
run people down. And Johnny caught them on the line, 712 to 714 each, So it's a big year for her, I think, because last year was the first time in about 4 years that she's been relatively healthy because she's been back injuries, shoulder injuries for the last 4 years. And I know that she told me that last year was the first time she was able to squat or do squats, in 4 or 5 years. And so the reality is that given that she's been able to do the strength work because she also had shoulder injuries, so she
Right.
couldn't do cleans and all of that, it's beginning to show. So, maybe this is a good year for her where there's no really major championship, where she can then take her time and build into the season and then run something like, I mean, her PB is 11:01 now, but we've always known that she was capable of being much faster than that. We saw evidence of that on the ankle leg in Tokyo last year when she ran down Shakari. As much as Shakari was in the best of shape,
Right.
the fact is that she ran her down and almost caught her. Suggests that she's moving a level now where maybe 10-9 low this year and maybe in time for 10 years or something by that by because she's 29. She'll turn 29 in January, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, she's at her peak physically, and she hasn't raced much over the past few years, so her body's relatively fresh. So yeah, so but it's it's kind of a small sample size across both male and females to say this is what the situation is. Because this was Kishian's second race, this was Janita's third race, if you include the
Right.
preliminary round. So yeah, maybe a little bit of rust, and people respond to long distance travel differently. Some people don't travel well, some people need an extra day or so. I mean, when I was going to cast, Coach DJ used to tell me that for every 1,000 miles you travel, you need a day's rest. So I know they're left on the
Before business
weekends.
class,
So
though, you know.
yeah, yeah,
No,
yeah.
I mean, you touch on some good points there. You got me on the John L. Smith thing, so I want to bring that up again because you anchored it really well. Because you know everybody knew she had a talent. We saw her when she went to college, and the
Yep,
injuries is what took away a lot from her. And I thought last year was a statement performance for her in terms of securing that silver medal for Jamaica in particular, and maybe breeding a level of confidence. You look at her, she looks good physically. I mean, the eye test is not always the best test, but she looks good. And a couple races out here, you're right. This could be a year for her. Perhaps what Commonwealth Games, perhaps you'd have to work hard to get in the rankings to feature, I would imagine, at
yeah,
the World Ultimate Championships. But Commonwealth Games could be a place for her. Yeah.
yeah. That looks certainly look. The reality is that I just when she was at Auburn, she was really good at
Yeah.
Auburn. She was good at Wolmer's. And when she had that car accident, it was after she came back from the World Championships in 2019. I think it was early 2020 when she had a vehicle ran into the back of the car she was
Mm.
in the United States, and she got a back injury that took a while for her to get back to heal. So, no, I remember we're talking to our trials last year. She said, yeah, for the first time in years, she's actually running relatively healthy because I spoken to her the year before that. And she told me about the shoulder injury, the back injury, the hamstring injuries. She had a raft of injuries that she had to overcome. So, and maybe this year, and maybe MVP should consider, putting Commonwealth Games on our calendar because it's not a championship year. It's a good opportunity for her to go there and race against Adina Asher Smith and some other people and test herself and feel the international elite competition that she's hardly been able to feel as an elite as a professional athlete. So yeah, it's probably a good opportunity for her this year as well. So